Hi everyone, I'm Ali. Welcome to the Python full course for beginners. So in this video tutorial, I'll try my best to deliver the most out of my almost 5 years of experience with Python, what I have learned with Python. So this ultimate course is actually for the absolute beginners. So if you are a beginner and you have no idea about Python, what is Python and how can you use it, and where its utilization, and how can you earn money with Python, etc. This course is for you. So this is actually the very basic. We will be starting from very basic, like variable declaration, etc., and almost everything, for loops, if else statements, etc., handling list, dictionaries, and all the way to the file handling, and then CSV file handling with Python pandas. So before that, let me give you a quick overview of Python. What is Python, and what are its utilization, and etc. So Python in a nutshell is actually, you can say, powerful and versatile language. So it's been used by mathematicians, scientists, engineers, like PhD scholars, and also about like, you can say, from students of high school, or like from kids to engineers to scientists and everyone. Also big companies like Google, Amazon, Facebook, like these YouTube, etc., core, they use Python in their technologies, and also Python is being used by Instagram, so etc. Yeah, so why you should learn Python? Actually, it's very vital to use Python as your tech skill, because you can earn from Python as a freelancer, or you can just teach Python to like to the kids, or to a school or college or university students. So that's why. And why I am doing this on my YouTube, because okay, I think that we should give back to the community what I have learned from open source. I do very much like believe in open source. Okay, so that's why I want you to. This is very basic course, just for beginners, but I will also be doing advanced course after after this video. And I will dig more and into the Python, and how to work with the complex projects, etc., etc. But this is just, you can say, the basic building block of Python that I'm going to teach in this 1 hour video. So stay tuned. There was a big demand for this kind of stuff, that my friends and my subscribers actually wanted me to uh, be like this kind of content on your YouTube channel, so that you can like show people like how to do basic stuff in Python. So let's and one thing else, let's have a quick review on Python. So where is the Python utilization? Actually, you can use Python as a, for example, in machine learning, data science, with data visualization, web development, desktop applications development, mobile application development. Yeah. So in mobile application development, there is a framework, open source framework, which is called Kiwi, where you can build your mobile applications like iOS, Android, etc., in just with just a single source code. And Python is the number one choice for machine learning and artificial intelligence, because it has a lot of open source packages, etc. And yeah, so what can you do with Python after you learn Python? So you can use Python, for example, in web scraping, business automation like email automations, marketing, etc., etc. It has a lot of applications, okay, and you can do that. So as a freelancer, you can use it anywhere, okay, in any skill, in any you can say jobs, etc., etc., any task. So let me just tell you about the benefits and the salaries about Python. So there's a stat. I'm telling this from the stats, not from myself. So in US, average salary of Python developer is $120,000 per annum. Yeah, and that's right. Nowadays it may be more or less than that. It's the average salary. It's 30,000 more than other developers. Okay, so that's why Python is so vital and so important to learn. And uh, besides that, you can use Python as as I said, as a freelancer. You can earn from Python a good money, like I have been earning for the past couple of years. Okay, so that's it. If you want to learn advanced stuff. So I will also be uploading advanced tutorial to my YouTube channel and also to my website blog. Okay, so you can follow that if you want to get in touch with Python. Okay, so let's just start. What is Python actually? Python is actually a general purpose programming language. It's a high level programming language. By high level, it means that it is more readable to human and than other languages, okay, than computer. So actually, why is the Python of choice of everyone? Because Python is a dynamically typed language. It doesn't require you to define any like specific like variable type like integers, floats, etc., etc. You just define a single variable. You can store in it everything, almost everything. Okay, so that's it. And there's a lot of other features too. We will dig into that in a practical way. So let's just start with installing Python and just write our very first uh, Python programming, like okay, Python line of code. And yeah, with that being said, let's jump into it, start installing Python. So actually Python, this is a Python interpreter where you can download Python 3.11. Okay, you can download any Python interpreter and just install it. Make sure it's Python 3, because there are two versions of Python. One is Python 2, one is, and the other one is Python 3. So Python 2 version has been deprecated. It's not being updated, and that has not been used now. So it's Python 3 version. So it will be Python 3.11 or 12 or etc. So download that. And how you can download and install it, go to the file section, download if you are on Windows 64, so download this version, or if you are on Mac 64, download this version. Okay, and after that, when you download it, what you can do is actually you let me show you. You will run it. Okay, so now it's being run. Let me just so this okay, this is actually now we are installing Python interpreter, which is the core Python, which includes basic standard libraries, etc., where you can run your code. This is a okay, so you will have to check this check mark. Okay, so the add Python to path, make sure that no file conflicts occurs. Click on custom installation, click on next, install for all users, and install in the main C program files. Okay, so if you hit next, now it will be installed, and it will be completed. I have already installed an older version, so I don't need to install it again, so I will just cancel. Okay, after that we will come to an IDE, PyCharm. Okay, so I use PyCharm, as you can see here. This is the PyCharm, and I have been using this from the very beginning, from the start. I have never used any other IDE. I highly recommend this, but you can use any other IDE, like you can use any text code editor, etc., etc. But if you use IDE, the benefit is that it comes with a lot of plugins, a lot of like in IDE support, etc., etc. So it's very comfortable and very convenient to use an IDE. So I highly recommend this PyCharm. Either use professional version or community version. So there are two versions actually. Professional version is available for 30-day trials if you don't buy a license, but I recommend this community version. Okay, and yeah, so just download this and install this. You will be good after that. And after that, we are going to jump into, let's start with actually coding our very first, okay, line of code. So this is actually all the code. I have write it down. You would be wondering why I have a pre-write the code, because I don't want to waste your time. Okay, just to, okay, I know like almost every content creator of programming, etc., they have already you don't understand this thing. Okay, they already written code on the other monitor, and they will just copy paste the code, etc. I don't want to do this. Okay, because it looks like something like they are programming out of thin air, something like that. So I don't want you to feel like that. So let's just be real. Okay, so this is our very first line of code. After you install Python, I have created a directory here. You can just like, for example, click here, copy this directory and paste it here, or you can just create a new project from here where you will be popped up with this. Okay, you can create, like, for example, I can create another project like tutorial, etc. So it will be created with its own virtual environment. Okay, so in the ID you don't have to worry about virtual, what is virtual environment, etc. We will be discussing this in next and in other videos, in a separate video, what is virtual environment. You have nothing to do with that at this point. This ID is going to manage all that things for you. Okay, so you don't have to worry about this. If you create a new project, you can just name it, for example, tutorials or my testing project, okay, etc. Like testing project, etc. And it will be created for you. After that you can just create a new Python file like I have created here. So if I right click on here, I click on Python file, so I'll be prompted with what is the name, for example, tutorial. Okay, so this is the Python file, just like I have created this Python full course file. Okay, and all the source code will be available in the as I said in the article, and also on my GitHub profile. You can find link in the description. So let's just run our very first line of code. Hello world. That is almost be done in every Python first program. So if we right click on this, we can run it from here. Okay, we will just print hello world. Okay, so now you'll be wondering what the heck we are doing with the hello world application, with the hello world statement. Okay, so it just start like it show you how to print any statement. Okay, little bit of encouragement. We printed this big hello world. Okay, now what's next actually? So this was our hello world statement. Now we are going to the real Python programming. So after that, what comes actually in almost every language, there comes variables. What are variables? Variables are actually a storage in memory, in computer memory, that you can save anything. Okay, for example, little storage in, okay, so you can save in it like integers, like names, text, list, dictionaries, etc. Almost anything. It's a variable. So in Python 2, these are called variables. If I uncomment this variable, which is integer, okay, so I have put this like for example age equal to 25. Okay, I just can print this age. Okay, and yeah, it's actually, let's actually, so this is the age, and with string, what you can do is actually use, this is a string. Okay, so string, we define string like this. Okay, define a variable, put it in equal, and assign it to the name. So this is a string variable, and besides that we have floats, we have other types of variables like yeah, decimal points, which we call floats in programmings. Okay, in programming languages. So these are the variables. How we can print it? We can print it like this. Okay, don't worry about this format thing. Let me also show you this, how this works. So this f is actually, we can print these variables like this. Let me show you. Print age, name, and height. Okay, let me comment this out. Okay, so in PyCharm, a shortcut way to run a Python program is actually first time if you run it like here, like from here, run, or run it, you can run it from Control Shift plus F10 on Windows, or Command Shift F10 on Mac OS. Okay, on MacBook, and after that you can just run it with Shift F10 only, Shift F10 only. Okay, or you can rerun it from like right clicking on here and run Python. Okay, this Python file. So what I'm running is actually I'm pressing Shift F10 and it is just rerun the code. Okay, so it just printed age 25, Ali, and 188.5 height. Okay, these are the just simple printing. What if we want to also print what is the age, name, etc.? So we will be using for that we can use formatted strings. Okay, this f comes stands for formatting. You just have to put an f, okay, in front of that string, and in that string, this is a whole string. Okay, you see these commas. Okay, single comma here and single comma here. Okay, this is actually a single string. Okay, but what we have done actually, we put an f in front of that so that we can embed our variables using curly braces inside this string. So that's the purpose of formatting a string. So now if you run this, You can see age 25, name Ali, height 188.5. Okay guys, this is not my actual height, I don't know. It will be close to this, but I just chosen this. Okay, so now that's being done. Now we are coming towards operators. What are operators actually? In mathematics, like we use equal, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, etc, etc. Okay, so in programming language too, we do need operators, and we do operates on this, and we do operations on based on those operators, with the help of those operators based on variables. Okay, so mm, and for example, if we define these two variables, okay, let me show you here. So what we can do with those two variables, let me just comment out these one. Okay, or not needed. Okay, those are two variables, a equal to 12, b equal to 9. I have defined those. We can do division, multiplication, addition, subtraction, etc operations based on these. So if I, for example, if I want to add these ones, we just add these and just click it run, and those are being added. 12 plus 9 equal to 29. Okay, so now that was the division. What is the subtraction operation? This is the subtraction, same as in math. Okay, so subtraction is equal to a minus b equal to 3. Okay, being done. Subtraction. What is the division actually? The division is actually, there are two types of divisions in Python. One is simple division, okay, which we can say in math like float division, which you can when you divide uh, one number on another, you will get a result in decimal points, which is called floating numbers. Okay, and other kind of division is, for example, let's just run this one. So yeah, so guys, 12 by 9 is equal to 1 point, yeah, 12 by 9, 1.33. So this is the simple division. Now if I uncomment this one, okay, and I run this, so it's 1. Why? Because it has floor. This double division, double slash, is actually used in Python for floor division. What floor division does is actually it takes out the right side of decimal point and just leave the whole number like 1. It has not printed the 0.33, so it has floored the division. Okay, so that's the purpose of. Before we move on, let me just tell you about the comments, how comments used in Python. So if you comment out any Python, oh sorry, I didn't explain this before. If you comment out any line of code in Python, it will not be interpreted, it will not be considered by the interpreter as a source code. It will be interpreted as a plain like dummy thing, you can say. Like the interpreter will think that okay, it's not a code, just move on. Okay, so that's, but there are two types of comments: single line comment and multi-line comments. Multi-line comments, you can do it like this. These are the multi-line comments. Okay, you can write, for example, Ali Tori is programming. Okay, so these are the multi-line comments. This will also not be included in the interpreter. Okay, so you can see, so these are multi-line comments. Okay, let me just remove this. Okay, that was floor division. What other things, other operations we have? Now we are going towards modulus separator. Okay, the modulus operations. What is modulus operations actually? If you divide one integer or one any number on another, what is left in the quotient is called modulus. Okay, so that is the modulus resultant. So for example, if we divide 12, in a we have 12, in b we have 9. If we divide 12 by 9, what is the mod? It's 3. So yeah, actually 12 by 9 is equal to 3. Okay, because 12 by 9 equal to 9, uh, and yeah, 12 by 9 equal to 9, which leads to 9. Okay, so 9 and 12 difference is 12 minus 9 equal to 3. Yeah, so that's it. So we have 3 as a modulus result. Okay, so there's a modulus separation. Let's just comment this out. Now we have relational operations. Okay, what are relational operations actually? If you want to compare two variables or two objects, etc., they are equal, etc, etc, in any number. Okay, so you can do it like this. For example, if a is greater than b, b greater than c, etc, etc, let's just print it out. So if is 12 greater than 9, no. Okay, sorry, yeah, 12 less than 9, yeah, it is greater than, so it's true. 12 less than 9, no, it's false. Okay, equal to b, no. Greater than or equal to, yes. Okay, it's printed as true. Less than or equal to, no, false. So these are the relational operations in Python. These are almost everything that we can relate to integers, float, variables, etc. Now here comes logical operations. What are logical operations actually? For example, if you want to compare two objects or two variables that either they are true or false, so you can compare it with logical operations. Okay, with logical operators. So now, what are the logical operators? The first logical operator I will show you is AND operator. Okay, so with AND operator, you can do it like this. With AND operator, wait, let me, I think we have to comment down these. Okay, yeah, so these are the, for example, A and B. uh, Either A is true, no, sorry, A is true and B is true, then the result will be true. So because we have one true and one false, A is true but B is not true, so that's why it's printed as false. So that was AND operator. So if we also enable this one, this operator, okay, the OR operator, and if you run this, it will be true because A is true. Either A is true or B is true. Okay, so that is printed as true. Not operator, we can apply that on both. Okay, not operator, not A, it means A is not true, which is false. Okay, let me just comment down these to remove the confusion. Okay, let me run this again. And for, yeah, not A, it's false because A is already true. We are saying that if A is not true, it is true. B is true, not, yeah, it is not true because it's false. It will be executed as true. So that was it for these operations. Now membership operations. What is membership operations actually? If you want to find anything inside a string or inside a list, etc., it's called a membership operation. So if you want to, for example, let me just comment out these AB and uncomment these. Okay, so what are here is actually membership operations. For example, is B in A? For example, Ali is in this string. It is present, yes, it is present. Ali is in A, yeah, it's A. Okay, so that's it. And Turi is in A, yeah, Turi is in A. Ali is not in A, no, it is false. So it will be true, 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 false. Okay, so it is true, 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 false. So these are the membership operations you can do. You can do the same in a list. We will be seeing that in a list later, a little bit later in the list section. So that was it. Now we are going towards input output operations. What are input output operations actually? If you want to take a user input, for example, you have written a program where you need a user to input anything, and then based on that input you want to take a decision. For example, if a user put 5, you want to print 25. If user want like, for example, if user inputted 3, you want to print anything else. Okay, so those are actually IO operations, you can say. File handling also falls in the category of IO operation, but that we'll be discussing file handling later, a little bit later in this tutorial. So these are the user inputs actually. You can take, this is a built-in function in Python, input. Okay, do not use that keyword as your variable, etc. This is an input where you can take user input in and save in this variable. So for example, if we execute this, yeah, so now it's waiting for our input. If I type this, Ali Turi is programming, now it will print it like this. Ali Turi is programming exactly like this. Okay, so it has printed this. For example, if we can take it like this. Please enter anything. So if we, for example, if in if statement, for example, if user input is equal to 5, sorry, if user input is equal to Ali, print, what do you print? For example, hello Ali, you can print it like this. Hello Ali. Okay. Else print the user input. So now if we run this, if we print this, sorry, we didn't enter that one. Sorry, let me run it again. If user input is Ali, it printed Ali. Okay, sorry, here again. Now if user input is Ali, it printed hello Ali. Now if we run again and take non Ali, not okay. So for example, if we take 5, it just printed 5. Or if we give it any other thing, for example, uh, Turi, okay, it will just print Turi, not this one. So this is how you can make decisions based on the inputs. Okay, yeah, that was this one. Okay. Now, formatting string. Actually, the formatting string that was discussed in above section. Okay, that was the formatting string that's been done. Now we are coming towards the list. Okay, what is list actually? List in Python is actually a data structure. Okay, a built-in data structure where you can hold any values, any objects, any string, floats, integers, etc. Anything, so that you can operate on that list of objects, items, etc. in your program. Okay, so this is actually the basic structure of list is like this is a very basic list which includes 3 integers, okay, and 2 strings. This is our very basic list. Okay, so for example, we can also do it like this. For example, okay, let me just define a list of like this auditory Python. Okay, this is a three items list. Okay, so we can print a list like this. You can store in variables in this. Okay, and you can slice the list. Print, for example, uh, yeah, my list. You can slice, for example, print number 1. So actually list starts from, list works on indexing. So the first index actually being the 0 index. This is 1, this is 2, and now to start out to the last. Okay, 0, 1, 2. And also this can be in Python, uh, list can be operated based on like negative indexes. For example, here starts -1, -2, -3. For example, here I have, okay, let me just run this one, Turi. So it just printed Turi because this was the index 1. So what if we put, sorry, for example, index 0? No, there's I think index 0, 1, 2. Okay, let's run this. Index 0 is Ali. Okay, now it has printed Ali because it is at index 0. Now what else do you have is, for example, if we print index 2 or index, yeah, index 2, it will print Python. Okay, because it's index 2. Yeah, and besides that, you can print actually with this, you can print negative indexes. For example, if you can print -1, it will also print Python. Okay, because it's at index 1. Or you can print it -2 index. Okay, it will be Tori, and -3. Okay, it will be Ali. Okay, that's how you can print. With the last index, you can, if you don't know, the negative indexes comes into the benefit of negative index is actually, if you don't know length of the list, so you just print the negative index. Okay, so for example, if there's a for example 1000 items list, you don't know that what is the specific length of that, you just want to print the negative index, the last index, so it would be, you can print it like -1. Okay, so -1, yeah. And after that, what comes is actually for loop. So for loop is actually okay, now we are going towards loops. Okay, so in for loop is actually uh, a number of iterations. For example, in any program, if you want to iterate or a number of times, or a list, or just want to generate like a specific number of objects, integer, or print any line of code multiple times, you can use for loop. So for loop is in Python is very simple. You will do like this. For example, before that, let me show you another example of for loop. For loop using range function. Okay, so there is a function in Python is called range. Okay, where you can generate any range and just use that print I. Okay, so what we will do here is actually, let me comment this out, and if I run it, sorry, if I in range, let me rerun this for I in range 5. So for I in range 5, what I told the interpreter that for I index, I this is just a variable. Okay, this is nothing special. This is special keyword, this is special keyword, and this is special keyword. For I in range 5, okay, just print I 0 1 2 3 4 5, or you can just, and it just can print for example I in range 5 print early. Okay, so it will print Ali just 5 times, or it will print this integer, okay, 5 times, etc. So this is the for loop actually. Now what we can do, okay, what we can do with for loop actually, let me just bring it here. Okay, so let me just uncomment this for loop. So this for loop is exactly doing this, but it is iterating over this list, these items. Okay, so for each item, for example this variable item, okay, I just define this as index, or you can define it item, etc. For each item in my list, just print item. Okay, it will print all the items in the list. I need to Python. Okay, you just print this, and that's it for the for loop. After that, what we can do is actually let's, oh okay, indexing. I think actually we have done indexing. Let's just do it again. So indexing, for example, if we print this index 2, okay, index 3, sorry, we don't have index 3, we have index 2. For example, if we print my list index 2, it will print like Python. Okay, and besides that, what you can do is actually, okay, with indexing actually, now after indexing it, here comes slicing, how to slice a list. So in Python you can actually slice a list. For example, you can print only this slice of list. Okay, so where is 1 2 3 0 1 2, so from 1 to 2 print this list. For example, from 1 to 2 print this list. Okay, so it just printed 2, sorry, for 1 2 3 it will execute an error, I think. Let me just, no, it actually, so from index 1 to 3, why did it print it? Because we don't have third index, it just printed 2 indexes. Okay, index number 1 and 2, it just left it 3. Okay, so if we do it, for example, from 1 to -1, okay, it will also print from 1 to -1, it will print only 2, because -1 is not included, it's not included. Okay, it's excluded from the list. And after that we can actually go from from positive indexing to negative indexing. For example, we can do it like this, up to -1, for example, from 0. So if you want to include 0, from 0 to -1 index. Okay, so it will exclude Python and just print Ali Turi. Okay, if you also want to include all the indexes, you can just print it like this, all the indexes. Okay, or if you want to exclude, if you want to go till -2, you can just print it like this, you just print Ali. Okay, And yeah, that was for this one and for slicing. Now how we can update list? Actually we can update this list. For example, this ali theory, okay, we can for example at index 1 we can store this high in place of high theory python. We can do it like this. For example, if we print the list now, it will be printed like high theory python. So this is how we can update the list. Deleting an item from list. Okay, so first of all, how we can delete an item from a list? For example, we can delete an item from a list. Wait a bit, let me just comment with using two methods. One method is by using delete. Okay, this is del delete keyword, or the other one is remove. So let's just first see with the delete. Okay, so we have deleted an item at index 1. What was that? That was Turi. At index 1 was Turi. So we just deleted Turi from the list. It just printed this list. Okay, or we can delete the index number 2. Okay, yeah, but here is another good way of deleting an item. For example, if you don't know about the index of that item, where that item is, because most of the time you will get large lists of items, you don't know about this. So let me just comment out this method. So for example, if you want to remove Turi, okay, or Python, you just give it Python, it will remove the Python from the list. Okay, or if you, for example, if you remove Turi, it will just remove the Turi. But for that, for this method, you must have to know the name of that item. Okay, sorry, the exact item. So that was it for removing and updating the list. Now next method is appending. How to append to a list? So for example, here is, this is the list. You want to append to the end of this list. Here, for example, another item. Okay, you want to append here any item. How would you do that? You will do it with this method. Okay, this is append. Sorry, yeah, this is append. So my list has a list method. A list has a method in Python which is called append method. You can append anything with the list. For example, if you append tutorial, it will print Ali Turi Python tutorial. Okay, Ali Turi Python tutorial. Okay, how it did actually, it appended, it took that list, appended the tutorial and printed. Okay, so that's how append method works. So these are actually the basic stuff that I'm teaching you guys, so that you can understand what if in next videos if I do anything complex, so you can understand from the source code that what that line of code means. So that's actually very basic stuff in Python, but these are very very vital information. Okay, and yeah, insert method. Okay, so updating a method here, for example, we have updated this one. So how about if you, for example, this append method appends uh, to the end of the string, so to the end of the list. So how about if we want to insert at index 2 of a list, for example 0 1 2 0 1 2 at index 2 Python. Okay, so for example, we can insert, for example, programming. Okay, so now if we print this, it will be appended at the 2 index. Okay, and it has appended, sorry, it has inserted at the second index and shifted this tutorial Python at to the end. Okay, 0 1 2. Okay, because we have inserted at this point, so this has now become the third index, at the third index, and the second index has become the programming. Okay, so this is how inserting works in a string. For example, if you, let me just comment it out list, you can also insert at third position. Okay, which will become Alituri Python programming. Okay, now Alituri Python programming at the third index. Okay, or you can insert at the first index. For example, high, you can insert high at the first index. Okay, high at the first index, so that will be index 0. Now if you print it out, it will be showing high Alituri Python. Okay, so that was it. And now we will be moving towards dictionary. What is dictionary actually? In Python, dictionary is similar, not that similar, but a similar kind of like a list, but it comes with a keyword. Okay, with keywords for each item. Okay, so why is that? Because for example, if you want to name or label items in a list, so that will be called a dictionary. But each keyword must have to be unique in dictionary, because not two items have the same similar key, because that would be a conflict in a dictionary. Okay, so for example, here we can define a dictionary with curly braces, and in those curly braces we can define our items. So this is the keyword, this is the value, keyword, value, keyword, value. Okay, so these are key value pairs actually. So this is called dictionary. For example, if you want to print it, we just print it like this. Okay, this is our dictionary. Now if you want to iterate over a dictionary, okay, how you do that? You can do that with the method of with for loop. And this is actually in Python, sorry, like in list, we have like append, insert, it, remove, these methods. In dictionary we have items which shows us items. For example, if we print it like this, okay, so these just printed the items. Okay, or you can, for example, if we duplicate this, you can get the keys, only keys, get keys of dictionary dot sorry, what did I do, dot keys. Okay, you can get only the keys of the dictionary and print the keys 1 2 3, or you can get the values of the dictionary just alituri python. Okay, so it will like this. Or here in this for loop 2, for example, okay, in this for loop I think yeah, in this for loop you can get, for example, dot item dot, no, actually you can let me, okay, let print it out. It's not, okay, no, that's not what I was trying to do. Let's just move on with the dictionary. And let's how to remove any item from dictionary. So you can use actually this method to pop from a dictionary, or you can use for example delete method also with the dictionary, but I will use here pop method. For example, if you want to use, we want to remove this story, we will just use this index to sort the keyword of that item in the dictionary. Okay, so it has just removed the Turi and printed out other dictionary. Okay, or you can just remove, for example, the third item from the dictionary, it will print just Ali Turi. Okay, so that was removing from dictionary. Updating in the dictionary is same as, for example, my dictionary. For example, you want to put at index 3, sorry, not index 3, you want to put, for example, 4. Okay, my dictionary 4 is equal to, or you want to do it like this, for example, 4 is equal to programming, and you want to print the dictionary, print that dictionary, my dictionary, and you just do it like this. So it has just now added an item to the dictionary like this. Okay, same as the list. Okay, and now here comes the decision making. How to make decision in programming. A decision making is actually, for example, if you got any condition, you print this or you do this. If you got another condition, you print this or do this. Okay, so with this, for decisions we use if else statements. Okay, So if else statements, for example, uh, if we have, for example, two variables, here a is equal to 12, again b is equal to dash, okay, b is equal to 9. For example, if you want to for example, if you want to divide a by b and the resultant is 3, for example, a modulus b is 3, then print correct, otherwise print wrong. Okay, so this is a very simple statement that I have just composed. Okay, so for example, yeah, a by b is 3 because the modulus of 12 by 9 is 3, so it just printed correct. Or for example, if it is 5, it will print wrong. So this is how decision making works in Python. Okay, and this is decision making. And what is, okay, while loop for simple. Now we are going towards while loop. While loop also falls into decision making category in Python. Okay, so while loop, what while loop does actually, why do we have two loops, for example, for loop and while loop? So in for loop, if you have where do you use while loop and where do you use for loop? So if you have a specific number of items or list of items that you know the length of that item, for example, you want to iterate over that list, you just use for loop. If you don't know the length of that list, or you don't know that like the circumstances when it's going to be end, so in their circumstances you just use while loop. Okay, guys, so here, for example, if we assign 0 to a, for example, if a is equal to 0, so print that a, for example, we want to print that 9 times. Okay, so we can actually use for loop with the with this simple example. But what about if you want to print this statement, okay, quadrillion times? Okay, so how we're gonna do this with for loop? So what we'll do is actually there's actually for example, yeah, so we will put a condition. For example, if this statement doesn't reach to quadrillion times, so print this statement again and again and again. Okay, so this is the for loop actually. For example, if we execute this, it printed 5. So if we remove this, okay, so here I'm actually with this while loop, I'm explaining two things. One is while loop, another one is condition inside a loop. For example, if you want to print anything like 9 times, so you just add a is equal to a plus, actually this is a combined operation, a is equal to a plus, you can write it like this. For example, a is equal to a plus 1, these are the same. Okay, this one and this one is the same, but I just simplified this. A plus equal to 1, you can use it like this. It will add 1 to the a and put it in the a, and again it will do it like this. So this is the simple form. Okay, and if a is equal to 5, I have put it a condition. If a reaches 5, then print a and break. Okay, otherwise don't print it. Okay, if a is equal to 5, so it is printed just a. So here I'm also explaining another thing, the break statement. How to get out of loop, for example, at a specific number, specific, you just print the break statement. Okay, or you can do it like this. For example, else continue from the next operation. Okay, continue, else print a and continue from the next operation. So continue statement actually passes the command to the next iteration. Okay, it just leaves one iteration and passes to the next iteration. So it's just printed all the 5s. Okay, so that's it, how these things works, these conditions works. A range function, actually I have explained the range function above. Okay, for example, if you want to execute anything in a range, you just do it like this. Okay, just break it here. And okay, now we moving towards functions. What is function actually? Function is a set of code which you can reuse it again and again in your program, so that is called a function. Why do we use functions actually? Functions actually for a specific function, for a specific task. For example, if you want to write a specific piece of code that you want to use it again and again, you cannot repeatedly write it. Okay, it is not a good practice in programming. So you just write that thing in a code For example, if you want to greet your users, here is a very simple stupid function that I have just composed. For example, if I want to um, greet my users in a website or in a program, so we cannot just, for example, print, or we cannot just write like that greet function for every single user. So what we will do is actually we will write a function here. So every time we will just replace the name. For example, here is a simple function. So a function is actually be written in this way. So you use define keyword, which is def define, and use the function name, which in most cases is recommended ways to use lowercase items, sorry, lowercase characters, and you just pass an argument. So this is actually a function with argument. You can also define a function without argument. For example, if you want to add two numbers, for example, define uh, add numbers here. Okay, sorry, not add numbers. You can say, for example, no, let's just not take our time in on this one. Okay, let's just stick with this one. We will use that later, maybe in another example. Okay, so this one, for example, I have passed this name. Here is keyword argument actually. Okay, so I have passed the name, okay, as Ali. For example, why we use keyword argument? This is called keyword argument. For example, if we got multiple arguments in this function and we don't know about its name, so what we will use that keyword of that argument in order to tell Python interpreter, okay, you have to pass this Ali to the name argument, not any other argument that we have here. Okay, so that's how keyword arguments comes into play. So if we just do this, hello Ali, welcome to the Python course. So why is it beneficial? For example, if you want to greet thousands of users, so we will just call this function 1,000 times without defining this 1,000 times. We will just call this by this, like for example this 1,000 times with Ali, etc etc. For example, Ali Fairs, etc etc etc. Okay, etc anything. And yeah, that was it for this function definition. Now we are going towards, okay, what are the default arguments actually? Default arguments are actually those arguments which you pass in the time of at the time of definition of a function. For example, if you want to sum two variables, okay, so we will just call sum nums, okay, with a equal to 12 and b, we don't pass the b. Okay, we just, so this is the default. Okay, so we didn't pass b, we just printed, sorry, I think we have to print this, okay, the result, because the result is being returned in this form, so we will print it. Why did it return 17? Because the default, by default p was 5, we didn't pass the 5. Okay, okay, if for example if you want to pass 12, also pass 9, for example, it will be printed as 21. Okay, so it is some, this is how default arguments work in Python. Okay, so you just pass that. Now we are going towards object oriented programming. Okay, classes. What are classes actually, or objects? Classes or objects is actually uh, class, you can say, for example, it's a real world, okay, a real world objects. You can, for example, in real world we, you can say like objects have for example like properties, features, etc etc etc. So in programming too, it's called object oriented programming, like oops. So its aim is to implement real world entities like inheritance, abstraction, polymorphism, etc. Like inheritance is, for example, uh, if a property has been inherited from any other class, object, etc. Or abstraction, for example, if you want to hide, for example, a class hides information from other class, from other objects. Polymorphism mean like an object or class has many forms, for example many behaviors, okay, etc. So it's a programming thing. Okay, and the main aim of object oriented programming is actually bind together all the data in a single object and hide it in a single object so that we can access their data with an instance of that object. Okay. What are classes and what are objects actually? Class is actually a blueprint for an object. For example, this is a blueprint, okay, for an object. For which object? For car object. This whole from here to here is a blueprint for a car object. So what is class actually? Class is being defined by class name and then start with the capital and any name. For example, this car class I have defined an init function. Init function is actually constructor. Okay, this constructs these variables. What is this self? The self is doing actually the self represents the instance of the class. Okay, for example, this specific instance, for example, if you want to we have created this instance here. Okay, so this self now represents only this instance. So we will be telling the class, okay, uh, get all those variables which has been associated, which have been associated with this only instance of the class. Okay, so this is called self, which is a keyword which you can use on any object to access that object's variables, that object's functions, methods, etc. Okay, constructors actually, this is called the constructor. Okay, which constructs these objects, okay, of this class or these variables of the class whenever the class is called. So here we have called the class, this constructor is being called. Okay, and now we can access these methods and this. What, okay, we have defined functions above. Now these functions are part of this class. Okay, so in function we have to pass the self keyword and also this one. So for example, get the name. For example, I have defined this car class. Car, its company name is Tesla, model is S 3XY. So these are the four models of Tesla. Okay, yeah, this model. Okay, and the FSD is false, for example, full self-driving. So these are the features of this class. I have defined this. Now if we call this class and put it in an object, we have created an object. Now what we can do is actually we can call this object and get any features of this class. For example, company name, model, FSD, etc. Okay, so for example, if we wait a bit, self.models. Okay, we can models. Okay, we can print the models, etc, etc. So if we run this, if we see, okay, if we look into this, now it has printed all the things. Besides that, we can actually access its functions. Okay, functions of that class, it will be, okay, get model, get FSD. With model, with functions, okay, model is actually the dash and the company name, the model, and the FSD. So all the things have been printed from these functions. Okay, these are the properties. For example, these are the functionalities of this car class that we have defined. This is a very simple but yet optimized version of object-oriented programming example. Okay, so now we are going towards our final section, file handling. Okay, I hope I cover this in this very short time. Okay, so file handling is actually what you can do with file handling. It comes into play when you do web scraping or data extraction, etc. From for example, from a website, you can save the data into a text file or CSV file. So here comes file handling. How we do file handling? Okay, is actually we can open any file. For example, with is a statement in Python. If you use with statement with Python, it will be the file closing will be automatically handled. You can open any file with this statement. For example, id.txt in writing mode, this is the mode. Okay, and we are saving this as file of a file variable. Okay, so with this file, for example, if I want to write any string, for example, id, okay, adituri. Okay, so if we just execute this, okay, a file will be created here. Okay, here la file is created and the adituri has been written to the file. For example, if I want to write multiple lines, I will just for example do it like this. Okay, write lines. Now the lines has been written. Now you can see here these lines were written. Okay, adituri and this. Okay, now you can say, for example, this line has been written. Now it is written. Okay, so this is the, for example, this is the handling of file. Okay, now how we can read, actually this was writing a file, we can read the file at exactly the same way, but just you can read by default. This will be the mode will be read, but you can read it in binary ways, or you can read it in, also in writing mode you can do it with append, which will be appended at the end of the file. For example, you can do it like this. Okay, the data will be appended at the end of the file, or you can just write it, overwrite the file. Okay, so in read 2, if you print the content, it will, for example, no, sorry, it will print the content to the console. No, sorry, I did this wrong. So the content will be printed to the console. Yeah. So now I think our time has already been up. So I just want to show you this, how you can process CSV file. So this is the very last. Okay. Uh, Let me do it like this. Okay. So how you can rewrite CSV file. So you can rewrite CSV file with the help of, okay, with the help of pandas dictionary, pandas module of Python. So what is pandas? We are importing pandas. Okay, here how you can import pandas. You can install Python pandas by here. Okay, going to terminal and just yeah. Before that, let me just quickly jump into this section. Okay. Okay, so pandas is actually a Python module where you can okay, where you can process CSV files, etc using import this module. Okay, OS will also import this. And yeah, so here what I wanted to show you is actually you can install pandas like pip install pandas. Okay, so pip is actually a module management or package management utility in Python. You can install pandas like this. Okay, that was it. And yeah, so what we have done actually here is actually, no, we did not imported this pandas. Okay, pandas as pd. Okay, so it is now imported pandas here, pandas as pd. Okay, so it has imported pandas as pd. Now what we will do is actually with CSV file handling, we can read write CSV file. CSV file is actually the same like Excel file, but with comma separated values. It's what is stand for CSV file. So for example, if we want to write this dictionary into a CSV file, we will write it like this. Okay, let me just first execute this and then show you how it is done. And yeah, here we go, our file has been created. This is CSV file. Yeah, so this is the actually heading. Okay, no, we did not actually include the email here. Okay, we will include email. And now what it is doing actually, pandas is actually creating a data frame. Data frame is actually this dictionary. We have just used this dictionary, and we have used these variables, and these are the names which will be headings here. Okay, so these are actually, let me just remove these and just run it again. So these will be printed, for example, here. Now as you can see, now we can delete this one. Delete anyway. Okay, we can rerun this and we can see that. Okay, now you can see that this file has been created and all the headings have been written. Okay, so this is username Ali, user ID, and email. These are just dummy variables. Okay, don't worry about that. But here what has the pandas do? Actually, pandas is a very powerful module of Python, which you can use for file processing, file handling, etc. CSV. I use it a lot with in web scraping and any automation. Okay, I have been using it for the past couple of years with Python. Okay, for example, if you want to do any machine learning, data science, etc. projects, etc., you can not get rid of pandas. Okay, without using pandas, your project will not be like, for example, that easy to handle, because pandas is a very powerful library. That's why I wanted to show you here in this example. Even though our time has been over now, it's been 1 hour and 5 minutes almost. So I'm just winding up this, and here I will show you how you can read that file with the pandas. So here we have created a dictionary, we have converted that to data frame. Let me know if you don't know about these things. Let me know it in comment section. I will show you guys. I will try to answer your questions in comment sections. Okay, and then we are telling the interpreter that if not os.path is self file. Okay, this is the file path. We are telling that if this file does not exist, then write the headers. Okay, write the headers. If these files exist, okay, then do not write the headers, and change the writer to append mode. Okay, this mode is append, and do not write the headers. Okay, and index is equal to false. Do not create any indexes. Okay, in any case. So that is it. Now we want to read the file and print it to the frame the data frame to the console. Okay, so now we have read the file. Okay, so it's been written. Okay, username Ali, user ID, and email. Okay guys, that was it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys understood the Python a little bit. Okay, I will try my best in other videos that I will compose, but this video I tried my best to make it only 1 hour, but it's just 5 minutes. Okay, sorry guys for that, a little bit of extension. It's not that much. I think it's worth the time of your watching, and yeah, I will also I will also publish this article to my website, and the link will be in the description of this video. And also you can search on the website on my GitHub account, etc. And yeah, so if you have any questions or anything, you can just ask on my YouTube channel. Okay, and I will try my best to answer your questions. Also, next videos are coming for Python and specific things. For example, how you can do scraping with Python, web scraping, or log into a website, etc., etc. How you can automate anything with Python, for example, Instagram automation or Indeed automation, or etc. Anything like. I have uploaded my videos on my YouTube channel. So that was it for this video, guys. Although I was not in a good plan for this video, but I did my best to deliver the most of what I had in mind. Okay, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Okay guys, see you in next video. Bye bye.